Some people wonder, can you still believe in a policy of restraint? Can you still be someone who believes in less intervention? Can you have a realistic foreign policy in the midst of watching what's unfolding in Ukraine? Many of the folks who believe in restraint and believe in less intervention, know by heart the words of John Quincy Adams when he said, "America does not go abroad in search of monsters to destroy."
The truth is that in foreign policy, both parties have been speaking with one voice for decades. And let's be clear, U.S. foreign policy in the Mideast, in Afghanistan, and Iraq has been a disaster.
And I thought a lot about why this is. Why is it that foreign policy is the thing that you're not supposed to touch?
And I think we all know that there's an extensive network of foreign policy elite that has a unified view of the world and America's role in it that is essentially imperialism.
In every case, they told us we were winning and our policy objectives were being achieved, up until the very moment when our withdrawal laid bare the extent of our total failure. This is the same foreign policy establishment that gave us the policy of constructive engagement towards China, feeding that baby tiger until it became a dragon. So maybe it's time to listen to some new voices.
Now is the time for us at the American Conservative to seize on our legacy with Iraq and ensure that we don't rush into a far more costly war with nuclear-armed Russia. We will put a stake in the ground today, so to speak, that the right and the country more broadly will not go back to the days of dangerous regime change wars that are not in the national interest.
A temperate, serious class of writers, intellectuals, and subject matter experts are needed. We don't have that, and that's what we're trying to fix at American Moment.
Because once you have serious expert capacity in your foreign policy, you have deeper contact with reality. And reality itself is a principle of restraint. The minute you see the world as it really is, you lose these kind of ideological and idealistic delusions.
This is not a fun thing to talk about or to acknowledge is going on. It's something that if you had told me this was going on 10 or so years ago, I probably would have said, well, that's crazy, that's not actually happening. Well, let's just be honest with ourselves. A lot of people get very rich when America goes to war. A lot of people get very rich when America funds wars in far-flung corners of the world.
They spent trillions of dollars in Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, and Libya, only to make all of those situations worse.
To look back at the failure of Afghanistan is to be reminded that you cannot see any war in its entirety. Reports can be padded, numbers massaged to make everyone up the chain feel a bit better about how things are going.
So I think if John Quincy Adams were here today and he were asked about Ukraine, I think he would stand with many of us in not wanting to send troops, not in wanting to be directly involved in the war.